Camilla needs to open an ancient treasury that protects a magical object. There are 3 numbered doors, but only one leads to the real treasury. There's a sign on each door. Door 1 says, "The treasury is behind door 2." Door 2 claims that the treasury is not here, and door 3 is sure that the treasury is here. Camilla knows that door 1 lies, door 2 tells the truth, door 3 lies. Where is the treasure? Door 2 is the only one that tells the truth, so its statement, "the treasury is not here," is true. Door 3 says the treasury is here, but it is lying. So, the treasury is behind door 1. Daniel is a librarian working in an old historic library. One day, he notices that one of the rare books has gone missing. The library is empty except for 3 visitors: Clara, Victor, and Angela. Daniel asks if anyone has seen anything strange. Everyone denies it, so Daniel checks the security cameras. Victor is the thief. In the footage, he still has his backpack. And it's something that is not allowed in the library. See that sign? He could easily hide the book inside. 2 best friends, Jack and Tyler, went to a tropical island to surf and have some rest. After an active day at the sea, they bought a large watermelon and ate it. In an hour or so, Tyler felt unwell and lost consciousness. Luckily, he was taken to a hospital in time. But Jack couldn't understand what had happened. Both guys ate the same watermelon. Tyler didn't have any kind of allergy. Then how come Jack was perfectly fine? Jack didn't eat watermelon seeds, and Tyler did. Whatever substance poisoned him was in the seeds. Lucas wakes up in a hospital after a 2-week coma. He doesn't remember anything, not even his own name. In front of him, 3 women argue with the doctors, claiming to be his wife. Look at them attentively and try to figure out who Lucas's real wife is. Lucas realizes that the only woman who bothered to bring something personal was Rita. In the notebook she holds, there are notes about his medications, his allergy history, and medical reminders. In addition, she has a blue wedding ring on her finger, just like his. All the other women have gold wedding rings. During a conference on modern relationships, 3 women take the stage to share their experiences of life as a couple. They all claim to be married, but one of them is lying. Who is not actually married? The woman in the middle is not married. She's wearing the ring on her right hand, which could mean something else. Maybe it's an engagement ring or just an accessory. Wedding rings are usually worn on the opposite hand. Look at the picture and pay attention to all the details. Can you figure out the secret word that can unlock the door? I'd say there are too many vases in this room, so the secret word must be vase. Something important was stolen from a mansion, and there were 2 suspects, the cook and the gardener. The gardener said he'd been working in the garden all day, and the cook said she'd been working in the kitchen all morning. Who is lying? The cook is a liar. Look at that bread on the table. The cook must have left the kitchen at some point for it to have burned so badly. Lola and Leela were both born in March. When Lola was 4, she was double Leela's age. This March, Leela celebrates her 100th anniversary. And how many candles are there on Lola's cake? She has 102 candles, since their age difference is 2 years. Mila has 2 guys who are courting her. In the evening, She decides to video call each of them. After this, she blocks one of the guys. Which guy is it, and why did she do it? It's the guy on the right. He isn't living alone. See that second toothbrush? It might belong to his girlfriend. There was a green glass door in the middle of a big city. Rumor had it that something mysterious and beautiful was hidden behind this door. A group of friends found the door and tried to go through it. Interestingly, Amanda, Anna, and Oliver managed to sneak inside, while Lauren and Sebastian weren't even able to open the door. What do you think? Will Mark get inside or not? Mark will easily open the door and go through it. Only people whose names contain an even number of letters can do it. Look at this picture attentively. Can you figure out which of these three men is the boss? It's the man on the right. Do you see that his suit jacket is hanging on the boss's chair? No matter who's standing behind the desk, he's the boss. Look at these nurses very attentively. One of them is fake, and your goal is to figure out which one is an imposter. The nurses on the right and in the middle have the correct photos on their name tags, but the nurse on the left has the same picture as the second one. Plus, she doesn't look like the person in the photo. She is the imposter. A police officer was following a criminal suspected of smuggling. Suddenly, the man sped up and disappeared around the corner. The officer ran after him, but there was already no sign of the man. The only place where the suspect could hide was a beauty salon. The officer entered it and saw three women, but he knew for sure that one of them had to be the man he was looking for. Which one? All the women look stylish and beautiful, but look at the arms of the one sitting on the right. They seem to be too hairy to belong to a woman. That must be the criminal. One day, Cooper was relaxing at home when someone rang the doorbell. When the guy opened the door, he saw two police officers. They told Cooper his neighbor had called them, claiming that the guy had insulted him. And when the neighbor allegedly jumped into his car and tried to drive away, Cooper threw a stone and smashed his car window. Cooper asked the police officers to let him take a look at the neighbor's car. After they all examined the vehicle, the police arrested the neighbor. How did they understand Cooper wasn't guilty? The windshield was smashed, but if Cooper had been chasing after the car, the stone would have broken the rear window. A dangerous criminal escaped from the police and got a job in a wealthy household. When the detectives arrived there, they found out that three men had been hired recently. The cook told the police he'd been working in a restaurant before. The gardener said he'd always been interested in plants. And the security guard said his father was the house owner's friend. He helped Robert get his position. Who's the criminal? It's the cook. Before the police came, he'd been trying to make an omelet. But look, it's full of eggshells. A real cook would never make such a mistake. Janice rented an apartment with three other girls. Once, her mom visited her and gave Janice some money. The girl put the bills under a book lying on her desk and went to see her mom off. When she returned, there was no money in the room. The girl questioned her neighbors. Natalie answered she had just returned from her morning run. Brittany told Janice she had wanted to read the book. After taking it, she put the money in the middle drawer. Kayla said she had entered the room just once to look for her scarf. Who took the money? It was Brittany. The desk has no middle drawer. Mika got trapped by a mysterious person, but they told the girl that she could escape if she solved this riddle. You have a cardboard box. It's easier to lift from a wooden floor than from a steel cable. What's in the box? Mika thought for a while and answered correctly. What did she say? The box is filled with magnets. One evening, Olivia was walking home from work. While passing by the local police station, she noticed a commotion. Apparently, a prisoner had escaped recently. The police had a list of 3 suspects who could have helped with the escape. One was a delivery man holding a box. Another was a lawyer with a briefcase. And the 3rd suspect was an old woman with a cane. Olivia figured out right away who had helped the prisoner escape. Who was it? It was the delivery man who helped the prisoner escape. Look, there are handcuffs inside the box he's carrying. Olivia kept walking. Soon, she was next to a bookstore. At this time of day, it was supposed to be already closed, but the girl realized that the back door was slightly open. Then she saw 3 people running away and down different streets. They were a teenager with a backpack, a woman in high heels holding a coffee, and a jogger wearing earbuds. One of them broke into the bookstore just a few minutes ago. Who was it? It was the teenager. See that plastic bag with printed book titles? She must have grabbed it inside before running away. The day was getting more and more tiring, and Olivia decided to take a shortcut through a dimly lit park. As she was walking along the main path, she noticed something strange. In a small square, there were several statues. But something made her stop. She realized that one of the statues was alive. Can you help her figure out which statue is actually a human in disguise? It's this warrior. A trickle of sweat gives away his identity. He is just posing as a statue. It was quite dark in the park, so Olivia accidentally tripped over and lost consciousness. When she came around, she was in a room. On the table in the middle, there was a mixture of salt and pepper, and a note. Apparently, to escape, Olivia had to separate the salt and pepper. Look at what Olivia has at hand and try to understand how she can do it. Olivia has a plastic comb in her bag. She could run it through her hair several times and bring the comb to the pepper mixed with the salt. All the peppercorns will separate from the salt and stick to the electrified comb. Unfortunately, the note tricked Olivia. She found herself in a different room. To get out of that one, she had to get a coin out of a plate filled with water covering the coin completely. But she wasn't allowed to soak her fingers. Olivia did it without any problem. How? She took a glass and placed a burning match inside. After a few seconds, she lowered the glass onto the plate next to the coin. The water gathered under the glass, and she easily picked the coin up. Luckily, this time, Olivia managed to break free for real. But the evening was going to end peacefully. She saw that someone had robbed a jewelry store. A detective had already arrived and was interviewing 3 employees: John, Sarah, and Mike. John claimed he had been in the storeroom. Sarah said that one customer had been having problems with his credit card, and she had been trying to help him. And Mike insisted he had been in the office. Olivia knew who was lying. Have you figured it out? Sarah is lying. Have you noticed that note on the window? Cash only? The store doesn't accept credit cards, so Sarah must be the thief. Olivia remembered that she'd run out of milk and decided to drop by a grocery store. After grabbing the stuff she needed, she came up to the cashier to pay. The employee told her $5.05. Olivia paid, went outside, and called the police to report an emergency. Why? The cash register showed $10.60, but the cashier said $5.05, which looks like SOS. Olivia was very close to her home when she heard someone screaming. She rushed over there and saw a young woman crying. She was talking to a friend on the phone when someone grabbed the device and pushed her to the ground. When she got up, there was no one around, but she saw the door of a nearby cafe closing. Olivia and the girl entered the cafe and looked around. There were 5 people inside. All of them looked rather decent. Can you figure out who's the thief? It's the man near the coffee machine. His drink is still steaming. It means he's just bought it. When Olivia finally got home, she felt uneasy. She lived alone, but something seemed off. Suddenly, she realized that someone was hiding in her apartment. How did she understand it? Have you noticed the movement in the TV's reflection? It means someone is hiding in the room, possibly behind the couch. Luckily, Olivia noticed it and called the police in time. After this unnerving situation, Olivia invited 3 friends to sleep over at her place. They watched a movie, ate popcorn, and talked until late. Finally, they all went to bed. But something caught Olivia's attention in the middle of the night. She understood that someone was awake. Can you figure out which of Olivia's friends isn't sleeping? Renata is awake. She's pretending to be asleep, but she's using her cell phone. The soft glow of the screen and the way she holds the device under the blanket reveal that she hasn't turned it off. In the morning, Olivia was going to have a piece of cake she left for breakfast. Sadly, someone had already eaten her dessert. None of her friends admits to doing it. Look at them attentively and help Olivia find the one with a sweet tooth. There's some chocolate on Brian's sleeve. He must have eaten Olivia's cake. The girl went to the supermarket to get another treat for herself. While entering the store, she heard an alarm go off when a young woman tried to leave the store. A security guard stopped her and asked whether she had a receipt. She did, so the guard checked the girl's purchases. Everything looked okay, and the man wanted to let the girl go. But Olivia stopped him. Why? The date on the receipt is wrong. Look at that digital screen on the wall, displaying the current date. The girl must have bought all the products the day before and then came the next day to steal the same stuff. Olivia wanted to get some salad for lunch and was choosing between these 3. Can you help her pick the only fresh salad? The salad on the right has flies flying all over it. Yuck! The salad in the middle has cheese with mold in it. But it's not that kind of cheese, it's just gone bad. So the only fresh salad is the one on the left. On her way home, Olivia decided to walk through the park again. She saw 2 girls there. They were in a clearing with lots of berries growing there. Apparently, the girls were hungry because they both decided to snack on the berries. Olivia realized that for one of them, it was going to be a grave mistake. Which girl is in danger? The girl on the right is about to munch on the berries that have knocked off a bird. See? it means they might be poisonous for her too. As for the girl on the left, she's probably not in danger. After stopping the girls and sharing some food with them, Olivia kept walking. Soon, she reached a riverbank and saw a glass bottle lying there. The bottle looked old, and Olivia had put a lot of effort into opening it. To her shock, a genie appeared from the bottle. He promised to grant her 3 wishes. His only condition was that she couldn't wish for more wishes. Olivia agreed and still managed to get more wishes. How did she do it? She started with wishing that the genie allowed her to ask for more wishes. In space, making the wrong decision can cost you your life. But if you solve all the riddles, you'll be safe. To activate the navigation system and return to Earth, you need to enter a 3-digit code. You'll need to answer 3 questions to find the correct numbers. How many planets are there in our solar system? What is our planet from the Sun? How many satellites does Mars have? The code is 832. There are 8 planets in the solar system. Earth is the 3rd from the Sun. Mars has 2 satellites, Phobos and Deimos. At a research base on the moon Titan, one of the crew members turns out to be an extraterrestrial spy. Here are the suspects. An engineer who claims to be able to breathe the local air without a spacesuit. A cyberneticist with different eyes. An astrobiologist whose hands are constantly cold. The engineer who says they can breathe on Titan without problems can't be human. The atmosphere here is not suitable for breathing for us. Oh no! 2 astronauts are floating in open space near their spacecraft. Only one of them is tethered to the ship. Who will reach it first? Or maybe they'll do it at the same time. The tethered astronaut will reach the ship first. They can pull themselves along the rope, controlling their movement and speed. The untethered astronaut can't move independently unless they push off something. If they do push off, they will move toward the ship but won't be able to adjust their trajectory or speed. 2 female astronauts on the orbital station seem suspicious. One is always smiling and pretends to act normal. The other one, who is also smiling but always keeping her hands in her pockets. Which of them isn't human? The correct answer is the blonde astronaut. The edge of green fur right here is a clear clue. She hides her furry ears and wears a spacesuit even inside the station, so as not to give away her true nature. Astronauts on board the ISS complete an orbit of Earth every 90 minutes. They move from the bright side into the shadow, and then back to the side of sunlight. So how many sunrises and sunsets do they see every Earth day? 16 times. You just need to divide 24 by 1.5. You're on a spacewalk to repair a satellite, but a sudden bang throws you away from the ship. Your maneuvering system is out of order. How will you get back? You can wait for help, staying still. You can try to move your arms and legs, trying to swim back. Or you can drop one of the tools and push off from it. There's no air in space, so flapping your arms is useless. But throwing a heavy object in the opposite direction will give you momentum in the right direction. You are an astronaut on a damaged spaceship, and your navigation system is down. The only clue left is a message from an unknown intelligence. Your mission control tells you this code is using a simple letter number system. Which planet should you set your course toward? It's Mercury. You receive an alert. A giant asteroid, 7 miles wide, is hurtling towards Earth. A scientist suggests, let's launch a satellite to orbit the asteroid and use solar sails to gradually alter its trajectory. A mechanic says, let's attach thrusters to the asteroid to nudge it off course over time. An astronaut offers to send a spacecraft with gravitational tractors to tow the asteroid away from Earth's path. Which course of action will you choose? Listen to the scientist. Using solar sails or reflective paint can change the asteroid's trajectory through the Yarkovsky effect, gradually deviating it from Earth's path without causing damage. 3 planets sent you a signal offering to land there. The first one responded with a quick hand gesture. The second was silent and nodded. And the third one simply laughed. Which is the best place to go? The silent nod is the most universal gesture of agreement, so it's probably the safest option. A quick hand gesture can be either a greeting or a warning, and laughter without an explanation could mean some unpredictable civilization. There are 3 black holes in front of your ship, a small one, a large one, and a giant one. All of them suck in light and matter, but only one of them is a portal. Which one should you choose? Go for the giant black hole. The blue light is the radiation of a tunnel to another dimension, passing through its center. The small black hole is spinning so rapidly, its gravity will tear apart even light. The larger black hole is almost motionless, like an eternal trap. Space travelers are looking for a good place to land. There are 3 planets ahead of them, but 2 of them hide a serious danger. What planet should they choose? They should opt for the bright green planet with normal vegetation. The black forest on the first planet is the giant tentacles of a creature waiting for prey. The bumps on the second planet are the eyes of a colossal monster that could wake up at any moment. Suddenly you realize you're being pulled toward another black hole. Your only chance is to act fast before you cross the point of no return. You have 3 possible choices. Fire your engines at full power and try to fly straight away from the black hole. Use your thrusters to move sideways, trying to orbit around it and slingshot away. Eject all your cargo to make your ship lighter and escape gravity. What is it going to be? The second option is the safest. Trying to fly straight away is useless because the gravity is too strong. Ejecting cargo won't make a big difference in this case either. Your oxygen tank is leaking and you have only 10 minutes of air left. You find 3 emergency oxygen tanks, but only one is safe to use. Which tank should you choose to survive? If Tank C is telling the truth, then Tank A is lying, meaning it's not 100% safe. That would mean Tank B is the safe one. But if Tank C is lying, that still makes Tank A unsafe. Either way, Tank B is your best choice. 2 space crews are competing. Who will make it to Saturn faster? Looks like one captain managed to take his spaceship there first. This selfie is supposed to prove it, but something feels off here. Can you see it? Saturn is famous for its rings, and there are clearly no rings in the photo. The captain must have forgotten about it with his desire to win. Your spaceship's navigation system is fried, and you need to get back to Earth. You find a map with 3 route options. Route A is the shortest path, but it takes you through an asteroid field. Route B is longer, but it orbits a black hole. Route C is the longest, but guaranteed safe. Which route should you take? Go for Route B. If you stay outside the event horizon and use the black hole's gravity to slingshot forward, you can travel much faster than the other routes. Your spaceship is losing power and you need to fix it fast. You find 2 wires. The red wire powers life support, but may cause an overload. The blue wire has an unknown function but looks safe and undamaged. Which wire should you connect first? Go for the red wire. Without life support, you won't survive long enough to fix the engine. Once life support is working, you can carefully repair the other systems. It didn't work, so you need to escape, but the only way out is through one of 3 doors. Door 1 leads to a broken gravity-free tunnel where you'll float endlessly. Door 2 leads to an airlock with no suit, meaning you won't last a second. Door 3 leads to a vacuum chamber with an emergency switch for gravity. Door number 3 is the one. If you can hold your breath for a few seconds, you can reach the gravity switch and escape before the vacuum pulls you out. Congrats! You've returned to Earth safely.
Our guy Noah here is a student working at a restaurant every night in order to make some extra money to pay the bills. At work, he sees the most absurd things possible. Sometimes he even has to crack detective cases. Let's help him, shall we? Noah arrives at work on the first day of the week and notices something unusual. 3 very well-dressed ladies are sitting at a table. He starts watching them and soon realizes that one of them is just pretending to be rich. Can you figure out which one it is? It's the woman in the middle. She's wearing a fake watch. The real brand is called Chanel and not Channel. After figuring out this mystery, Noah goes back to the kitchen to check if anyone needs help. There, he sees 2 cooks arguing. One of them is accusing the other of having poisoned the food. Ooh, that's a very serious accusation. But who really tried to poison one of the dishes? The chef on the right has a few stains left by food on his uniform. But after all, his job is cooking. Now look at the one on the left. His uniform is very clean, but there's a bottle in one of his pockets. Despite his speckless clothes, he is the culprit. Noah follows this chef after he storms out of the kitchen and discovers him rummaging through the trash cans outside the restaurant. The guy wonders what else he might be hiding. So he pays closer attention to the situation and soon understands what looks strange there. The trash cans, they're empty. It must mean that the guilty chef has already thrown away the poison and discarded the trash bags to get rid of any evidence that he attempted to commit a crime. Noah decides to keep an eye on the guy. Then, Noah returns to the restaurant through the front door and finds 2 customers looking like identical twins arguing in front of the receptionist. One accuses the other of being an imposter and says that he is the one who actually reserved the spot. Can you help Noah understand who is lying? The customer in the coat is wearing a mask to look like the guy who actually reserved a spot at the restaurant. Have you noticed this patch of skin on his wrist? His skin color is actually different from that on his face, which, in reality, is just a mask. Noah decides to go check the bathrooms to see if everything is okay. Outside, in front of the sink and mirrors, 2 women are standing. Suddenly, a new presenter announces on the radio that a dangerous female criminal has escaped from a maximum security prison. Strangely, both of the ladies look worried after hearing this. Noah immediately realizes that one of them has escaped from prison. But which one? The second woman, who is putting on makeup, is the fugitive the police are looking for. The bracelet on her wrist is actually not a real bracelet. It's a broken handcuff. She managed to escape, but she was unable to remove the handcuff completely. The next evening, Noah is serving one of the tables when he notices something strange about the customers sitting there. One of them seems to be not who they claim to be. Which one is it? The bearded man is actually a woman. Have you noticed her elegant hands with long nails she's hiding under the table? Plus, it looks like her mustache has unglued from one side. Uh-oh. Noah is the last one to leave the restaurant that night. Before he rounds the corner, he hears some suspicious noise and turns around. Oh no! Someone is sneaking into the restaurant. Noah calls the police and rushes inside to investigate. He switches on the lights and, at first sight, sees nothing out of the ordinary. But soon he realizes where the intruder is hiding. Have you spotted them too? A pair of boots are sticking out from under that curtain. That's where the intruder is hiding. The police arrive fast and arrest the intruder. Noah is finally free to go home. But the universe seems to be laughing at him that night. At one point, he realizes he's lost his way. In front of him, there are 3 roads. Which one should he opt for to stay safe? The road on the left doesn't have any streetlights further ahead and plunges into darkness. It might be unsafe to go there. The road on the right is guarded by a few unfriendly dogs. So, even though this street in the middle is very narrow, it's probably the safest option for Noah. Luckily, Noah gets home without any problem. To calm down, he decides to drink some chamomile tea with sugar. But he's so tired, he can't figure out which of these 3 jars contain sugar. Can you help our poor guy? Well, the substance in the jar on the left is pinkish, so whatever it is, it's not sugar. The jar in the middle contains something that looks like fine dust. It must be flour. So, the jar on the right is filled with sugar. Once, Noah's friends, Liza, Laura, and Mia, came to his restaurant. After the meal, they asked him if he could help them split their $56 bill. Noah did as they asked. As a result, Liza paid twice as much as Laura, and Laura paid twice as much as Mia. How much did each person pay? Mia paid $8, Laura paid $16, and Liza paid $32. The girls told Noah that they parked their cars not far from the restaurant, and the guy went to see them off. It had been snowing all evening, but surprisingly, they saw that only 2 cars had snow on them. Why was the 3rd car snow-free? Look, the 3rd friend was parked under a tree. It blocked the snow. Noah is going to work. Suddenly, he stops and stares at the scene in front of him. All because he realizes that not 1 but 3 things seem to be off in this street. What made Noah stop? First of all, it's these traffic lights. I mean, where's the red? Then, look at this tram. It doesn't have doors. Creepy. And finally, there are no tram tracks. Yep, there's something seriously wrong with this tram. A man rushed into the restaurant, claiming he had heard a very loud noise coming from the house next door. He was afraid to go investigate alone, so Noah went with him. They ran inside and found the house owner on the floor of his bedroom, tied and gagged. Once free, he said he had been in bed reading a book when a man in a black mask broke into his room. The criminal tied him up, took all his money, and disappeared. Noah didn't believe the man's story. Why? There isn't even a wrinkle on the covers of the bed. Something doesn't add up. The man must be lying, or the burglar is a very neat dude. Noah's colleague, Julia, who had helped him that day, called the restaurant and told the guy that she was running a bit late, but she promised to come at 8. When she finally showed up at 8:02, Noah was furious. Why? Noah works night shifts, so of course, he thought Julia would come in at 8 p.m., but the girl showed up at 8:02 a.m. Noah's boss gave the guy a sack with coffee beans and asked him to fill 2 empty sacks with the beans from the first sack. But the problem is, all 3 sacks are of the same size. How can Noah do it? He should put one of the empty sacks into the other and then fill it with coffee beans. Well, Noah's boss is away, but he needs to check some documents on his computer. So he calls Noah and asks for help. But the computer is password protected. The only hint Noah finds is a note hidden under the keyboard. It has these numbers and words. Can you help the guy figure out what the password is? It's moonlight. The number in front of each word refers to the corresponding letter of this word. Now, did you guess all of them correctly? Good job! Olivia here is a young mom, and boy, her life can get pretty hectic. But with your help, I'm sure it's going to get much easier. One day, she came home with a stroller, took off her coat, checked her phone, and went to change her baby, Jordan. Just a minute later, she needed to leave again, but she couldn't find her keys. Wow. Can you help her figure out where they are? I wonder if you noticed that she put them in the stroller pocket while checking her phone. Olivia's baby drinks 5 ounces of baby formula at a time and eats 5 times a day. How much milk should Olivia prepare for 2 days? Ooh, some math. Olivia needs to prepare 50 ounces of milk, which is 5 ounces times 5 times 2 days equals 50 ounces. One day, Olivia put Jordan down to nap, but 10 minutes later, the baby started crying. The woman rushed to the bedroom to see what had happened. Oh no, the pacifier was gone. Olivia searched the crib and the floor, but it was nowhere to be found. Where could it be? Look at the baby's tiny fist. The pacifier is clutched in it. Jordan probably squeezed it while falling asleep. Olivia was washing 8 pairs of baby socks. When she hung them up to dry, she realized 1 sock was missing. How many socks are left? Can you help her count? Now there are only 15 socks. 8 pairs minus 1 sock equals 15. Perfect. But now, we gotta help Olivia find the missing sock. Can you see it? Yep, it's on the baby's little foot. Olivia must have gotten distracted and put it on Jordan without realizing it. Once Olivia took Jordan for a walk in the park. There, she saw 2 women with strollers. One of them is a young mom and the other is a nanny. Can you help Olivia figure out who the real mom is? The woman on the right is a nanny. She's holding a planner with the child's schedule, feeding times, naps, walks, activities, stuff like that. The real mom doesn't need any notes because she remembers everything. Or she thinks she does. When Olivia's kid grew a little bit, they got invited to their neighbor's child's birthday party. But when they came there, Olivia saw something very strange. Can you figure out what appeared strange to her? If you've noticed it, you're very observant. The woman seems to be filling the kids' cups with milk. But how is she doing it if the jug is actually empty? Ooh, what if she's an alien? Oops, wrong video. Never mind. One day, Olivia's 10-year-old niece visited them. To treat the kids, the woman cooked delicious pastries and left them on the kitchen table. Suddenly, her phone started ringing and she left the children alone for a minute to answer it. When she came back, one of the pastries was missing. Olivia's niece said it was Jordan who took the pastry, but Olivia didn't believe her. Why? Jordan is too short not only to grab the pastry but to even reach the table. The girl must have eaten the pastry and is now trying to frame the kid. Olivia and Jordan were invited to another birthday party. Look at the food the hosts are treating them with and help the woman figure out which dish is safe for her kid. Well, I wouldn't risk eating this cake. It smells really bad. Flies are resting on these cookies. Luckily, these apples look safe to eat. It's Jordan's first day at a nursery school. Both Olivia and the kid are excited, and they don't want to be late. But here's a problem. There are 3 paths leading to the school building. Please help Olivia choose the best way. The road on the left is blocked by a fallen tree further ahead. The path in the middle has an open maintenance hole, which can lead to an accident. At the same time, the road on the right looks pretty safe. They should pick this route. Olivia and Jordan were on the playground. Jordan was playing in the sand, and Olivia was watching him. Suddenly, the woman realized that one of the kids' toys was missing. It was an orange teddy bear. She looked around and saw only 3 other people around. Can you figure out who took the bear? It was that elderly man. Look, the teddy bear's paw is sticking out of his pocket. Who knows why he took it? Some years later, Olivia left Jordan alone at home for the first time and told him to be a good boy. But when she came back an hour later, she understood that the boy had done something he shouldn't have done. Look at the room attentively and try to figure out what 3 things upset Olivia. First of all, look at those brown crumbs on the floor near the bed. Jordan ate some chocolate cookies. The TV remote is not in the same place as before. The boy must have taken it to switch on the TV and watch cartoons. And finally, he was in a creative mood. Look at that drawing on the wall near the door. Jordan's birthday is around the corner, and the boy asks Olivia to invite his best friend to the party. Olivia is confused. Jordan is a very outgoing kid and has loads of friends. He's especially close to these 3 children. Look at Jordan's room and try to help Olivia figure out which kid is Jordan's best friend. It's this blonde boy. A kid's painting depicting him is hanging on the wall over Jordan's bed. Olivia invited not only Jordan's best friend, but also many other kids to her son's birthday party. When all of them showed up, she realized that one guest came uninvited. Can you spot the intruder? Look at this girl wearing a witch outfit. She was definitely going to a Halloween party. How did she end up at Jordan's birthday party? She was an alien. When it was time to bring in Jordan's birthday cake, Olivia was horrified. The cake was missing. The kids were all together and didn't leave the playroom, so it must be one of the parents who took the cake. Olivia switched on detective mode and soon understood who the thief was. Can you figure it out too? It's this granny. Look at her blouse, that dark stain. Isn't it chocolate? She's the one who took the cake. Hey, we should introduce her to the grandpa who took the orange teddy bear. What do you think? At first, Olivia panicked, but luckily, she found the solution fast enough. She called the nearest bakery and ordered another cake. They said they would send one immediately and asked her to pick a delivery person. Look at these 3 delivery people and select the most trustworthy. This guy on the left has a cast on his arm. Not very convenient for riding a bike, is it? The girl on the left seems fine, but look at her bike. The front tire is flat. So the man in the middle seems to be the safest bet. The party is over and Jordan is happy. He wants to count all the presents he's got. But they're all over the place. Look at the room very carefully and try to spot all the gifts. One, 2, 3. Well, these are easy to find. 4. It's under the bed. 5 and 6. One is on the armchair and the other is under the pillow on the bed. And finally, 7. It's hiding on top of the wardrobe. Jordan is now old enough to start studying French, and Olivia is looking for a tutor for her boy. Look at these 3 professionals and help the woman pick the best one. Look at this lady on the right. Her t-shirt has the Eiffel Tower and the word France on it, but the name of the country is written incorrectly. It should be spelled like this. What teacher doesn't know this? The man in the middle has a police badge on his shirt pocket. He must be a police officer. What is he even doing here? So the best and only option is this young girl on the left. Merci beaucoup. How about we play a little game? A dangerous detective game. To get to the next level, you'll need to do your best at the previous one. So let's see how powerful your analytic powers are. The first level isn't too hard. You'll need to choose the correct answer among the suggested options. Here we go! Look at this image. Your first task is to figure out which of these students is cheating on the exam. This girl rummaging in her bag? This thoughtful guy on the left? The red-headed guy in the back? Or this know-it-all? And the correct answer is C. The girl might just be looking for a pen in her bag, but the ceiling is reflective, and the red-haired guy is trying to see the answers of the boy sitting in front of him. The next one for you. Look at these people. Who is a ghost? This young man in torn clothes? Or perhaps this man with creepy stains? Maybe the lady with scratches on her face? Or this weirdly pale boy? And the correct answer is C again. Have you noticed that the woman's arm is kind of twisted? But she doesn't seem to be bothered by this fact. So she must be the ghost we need. Now, you need to spot a fake nurse. Be very attentive, or this play pretend may end in tragedy. Is it this woman with a stain on her scrubs? Maybe it's this smiley nurse. Or is it the nurse in the middle? The correct answer is B. This lady looks very cheerful, that's true. But are those vampire fangs in her mouth? This time, you gotta spot a superhero among the regular supermarket customers. Pay very close attention to every single detail. Maybe it's this strong woman. Or this muscular man. Perhaps this teenager. There might be more to this man than meets the eye. And the superhero is actually the teenager. Have you noticed that mask sticking out of his bag? Good for you! So the correct answer is C. And the last riddle of this level. You need to figure out which of these people is an extraterrestrial visitor. Is it this young lady? Or this scientist conducting eerie experiments? It might be this young lady with weird hair. Perhaps it's this unfriendly man. The correct answer is D. His black mustache doesn't match his white beard. Plus, there's something weird going on with his glasses, see? No temples and earpieces. Now, if you have at least 3 right answers, you can proceed to level 2. Good job! Now, you need to figure out the answers without any hints. No options to choose from. Look at this elderly lady. How cute! She must definitely love her pets. A bit too much, I'd say. Otherwise, she might have noticed something weird going on with one of them. What do I mean? This cat is very suspicious. It has a dog's tail. One of the people invited to this party is a thief. Can you turn on your inner detective and catch the criminal? Here he is, trying to snatch a bracelet from this woman's wrist. This picture is truly idyllic, until you look closer. Then you'll realize that something is spoiling this perfect image. Can you figure out what it is? First of all, the man's cup is turned upside down, and, for some bizarre reason, he still pretends to be drinking out of it. And secondly, look at the woman. She's pouring orange juice into her glass, but it's filling with something red. Ooh, we've got some pretty dedicated gamers here. But I'll say they must have been playing for too long already. There's something wrong with both of them. Take a look. The guy on the right has put his hoodie on in the wrong way. The hood is in the front, duh. And the guy on the left is holding the controller incorrectly. A true professional, LOL. And the toughest of them all. This time, you'll have to crack real detective riddles. Detective Andrea decided to have a meal at a cafe. But as she came closer, she saw a crying lady. The woman explained that when she had been crossing the road, some woman had grabbed her bag and rushed into the cafe. The detective and the woman entered the cafe. The lady recognized her bag. It was right between 2 women. But she couldn't recognize the one who had taken it since she hadn't had time to look at her carefully. Andrea didn't need much time to figure out which woman was guilty. How about you? If we face the woman, the thief is the one on the right. The woman on the left has her left arm in a cast. If she had taken the purse, she'd have to put it on the right side of herself. Lucas was a talented architect who designed a unique skyscraper. The construction works were starting, and his boss asked the guy to show the site to a group of specialists from a competitor company. The only condition was that they weren't allowed to take any photos. When the group was going to leave, Lucas asked the security to detain one man. The architect claimed he had been taking photos during the tour around the site. How did he understand it? The man was carrying an umbrella. He kept pointing it at different objects, asking lots of questions. But the sky was cloudless. He actually didn't need the umbrella. A camera must be hidden inside. Ellis called her friend, Detective Evelyn Brown, and asked her to come as soon as possible. While the woman was away walking with her dog, someone had gotten into her house and stolen her laptop. Ellis was sure it was her neighbor, John. Evelyn went to question the man, but he wasn't at home. She decided to wait for him in her car. Soon, she saw John opening his door. It turned out he had gone fishing early in the morning and had just arrived. Evelyn didn't believe John and took him to the police station. Why? The guy is wearing white sneakers. But look at the puddles. It must have been raining since early morning. If he was out fishing, why do his shoes look so clean? Mrs. White claimed that her neighbor, Mrs. Black, had stolen her laundry. The woman said she had hung the laundry in her backyard at 10 a.m. And when she went out of the house 2 hours later, she saw Mrs. Black put the clothes in her bag. The other woman denied these accusations. Strangely, the police officer Mrs. White called detained her for trying to slander her neighbor. How did the detective figure out that Mrs. White was lying? It's freezing outside and there's snow on the roofs. Within 2 hours, damp laundry would have been so frozen it would have been impossible to fold it and put it in a bag. And the last riddle for today is a fairy tale one. Long ago, an evil witch took away 3 women and turned them into rose bushes. One of the women, who had children, begged the witch to let her see her family, and the witch agreed. She let the women go home for one night and turned her back into a rose bush the next morning. But the woman's husband followed his wife back. He saw 3 identical rose bushes and suddenly realized which one was his wife. How? The rose bush that was actually his wife didn't have any night dew on its leaves.